Hey everyone. Um, one of the things that I want to bring to your attention sometimes when I'm talking to clients, I feel like what they gain from their doctors is a discard of natural medicine. Like there's no support for it. Now some are different. Some are great doctors. That's not to take away from the doctors that are supportive, that can think outside of their box. But I feel like the doctors who are not supportive are probably not in touch with the history of pharmaceutical medications. Um, I have the pleasure of having a mother who is a pharmacist, and she was the last class of her college of pharmacy to take what's called pharmacognosy. And pharmacognosy has to do with understanding where medications are coming from herbs and how they're created, right? So there is an article. I think it's a great article if you want to look it up. It's called Biodiversity Conservation and Drug Discovery. Can they be combined? This is the Suriname and Madagascar experiences. And this came from 2009. And one of the things that it says on the front page, today, this is 2009, today, natural products are responsible for over 1/3 of approved drugs on the market, with 39% of the total drugs approved between 1983 and 1994 in 33 different disease areas being natural products or compounds derived from natural products. And then later on in this article, it goes on to say a lot of these medications that are coming from herbs that cannot be synthesized, which means they have to use some of the herb to make the pharmaceutical product. So recently I was in a talk where the guy was saying that yes, herbs were used before medications, but there was a lot that wasn't, like the herbs really didn't cut it in certain areas. And so he made it sound like once the medications came on the market, when the medications were developed, there were a lot more treatments available to help people, which is not necessarily incorrect. But when you leave it at that, you take out what I just said. You take away the value of herbs and what they truly can do. And you take away the reality that a lot of people still are getting progress through using natural medicine or herbs that they're not getting through medicine, through pharmaceutical products. So the other thing that I recently learned about is this place in the middle that I was thinking to myself, I didn't know it was actually happening in this way, but I was like, this would be a great middle spot, which is already kind of happening. Like I knew there were certain companies that were taking an herb and magnifying a certain active constituent in it, right? So what I'm getting at is a space called branded products. So branded natural products, is a place where you're using something to still alter the herb. You're using something different. You're combining it with the herb, and you are altering that herb, usually to magnify something about it. So curcumin, for instance, or turmeric, for instance, is a good example of that. Turmeric is not very well, the medicinal benefits are not super well absorbed by the body, and so you have a lot of companies creating a curcumin product. Curcumin is the active constituent that is most often used from turmeric, and they're doing all these different things to it to try to enhance the absorption of curcumin. So Alzheimer's, for instance, is not, it's very low in terms of the rates of occurrence in India. Indians use a lot of turmeric, but the difference is that they're using it from all their life, like on a regular basis. So if you were trying to use turmeric to help with memory in a short term, that may not happen. So there's different ways that people are trying to alter herbs so that it becomes a bit more medicinal. It becomes a little bit more faster acting versus having to take it all your life. The difference with the branded products, yes, you're still putting it with the herb. You're putting something different to the herb to enhance a certain effect. The difference between a branded product and a pharmaceutical medication is that the herb, the whole herb, is still in the branded product. When you keep the whole herb in a branded product, you have less chance of side effects. The whole herb is a balancing effect versus if you take one constituent, you pull it out the herb. That is the difference. So kind of think of like branded products. I would say even potentially pharmaceutical medications, but it's potentially, but also particularly branded products. Look at it like herbs with a little bit of a human touch on it. Now, does that take away from using just the straight herb? No. There's a lot of value in still using the herb by itself. It's just certain times might be in certain situations, might be a good idea to try some sort of branded product for certain effects, right? In certain situations with certain people and all these variables, right? But I'm using herbs all the time with my clients, just straight bulk herbs. Or I'll use a liquid version of it, right? And then there's value, which most older methods of using herbs, particularly if you look at Chinese medicine, they're using herbal formulas because there's the acknowledgement that when you use herbs together in a certain way, there is synergy in that. So that's not to take away from using herbs by themselves or using herbs in their pure form together, right? That's one space that has a lot of value. Another space that may have value is branded products. Another space that may have value is a pharmaceutical medication. So I'm just saying all this so that you know some of the options that are available to you. And I think one of the things that I think with the medical system, I feel like they have something very special to offer. But when a doctor is not aware of the history of pharmaceutical medications and when they are not supportive of herbs, I think there's a little bit just of an imbalance there. And it can come across not so great. So I just hope that is good information for you in terms of you having a good balance on how to view, interpret this whole healthcare arena and make a decision that works for you.